Good morning, everybody. Welcome along. Today is Monday, the 26th of April 2021. This is our 8 a.m. movement snack. So, hey, listen, if you were on catch up, firstly, if this is the one you want, stick with us. Skip through the preamble if you want to, but I wouldn't. You don't have to, but you can. That's the thing about it. And secondly, it could be whatever time it is. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whichever it is for you. Take your choice. Pop us a comment in, let us know you've been in. Now, if it isn't the one you're looking for, easiest way to find what you're looking for, go onto our Facebook group, click the little photos tab at the top, and that will list everything that's been posted, photos and video wise, in the most recent order. So the most recent will be at the top. That's the easiest way to find what you're looking for. Do your catch up, pop a comment in, and hopefully I'll catch up with you when you've caught up. Right, I'm going to leave you there, going to pop across, say hello to people as they come on board live. So have a good day if you're catching up, have a good evening if you're catching up, have a good day, have a good night, whatever it is. Take care. Right, good morning, welcome along, come on board. The movement mobile has pulled up and is ready for your movement snack at 8 a.m. It's our Monday morning mobilisation movement. Bit of alliteration for you. I love a bit of alliteration. Welcome aboard. Get on board. Enjoy. Pull up. Grab a seat for a minute. We'll get ourselves moving shortly. This is our 8 a.m. movement snack. First opportunity to add those additional movement minutes into our day. And that's what it's about. Additional. Over and above everything else we already do. So good to be back with you on a morning. I love my morning ones. They really get me going for the day. I don't know about you. Really gets me set up for the day. So this is where we have a bit of a circulation boost, and then we focus on our mobility. So we focus on mobilising all of the joints that we're going to use during the day, all of the parts of the body we're going to use during the day to make life easier. And there's sorts of things you can add in throughout the whole of the day. So an ideal opportunity for circulation boosting. Now listen, say hello as you come on board. See if your comments work. Yes, they are there now. I can see them. Right, Maddie Stranger, good morning to you. Ian Wright, good morning. Dave, not a start seeing the word Marmite. Oh, I love a bit of Marmite. And I was telling Kelsey about it the other week that I actually had, for Christmas, somebody bought me Marmite body wash and Marmite deodorant spray. And I've just broken into it. So, yeah, I'm smelling all beefy. Christine, good morning to you. Good morning, George. How the devil are you? Slightly damp this morning. Garden needs it. It's overcast. Looks like it's going to be bright. It's not because there's been any rain or anything overnight. So let's see. I've got my shorts on, heading off to work straight after this. So hopefully it doesn't go too dark, too wet. Good morning to Wendy. Good morning, Margaret. Wendy Granger, that is. Good morning to Margaret Wood. Dave and Serial Snackers. Lovely sunny morning in Chesterfield. Pat Haynes, good morning to you. Good morning to Margaret Hamilton. Still sunny so far up here. Good morning. Good morning, Dave. Let's hope the weather cheers up. Yeah, and let's hope we have a lovely day again, don't we? Sandra, good morning to you. Lovely day. You're meeting your grandson for the first time today. He's a week old. Oh, beautiful. Well, have a lovely day. Wonderful things. Grandchildren, aren't they? I have 3 of them, and they're lovely. They bring something into your life, don't they? So have a lovely day, Sandra, and a welcome to your new grandson. Gillian Matthews, good morning to you and everyone from a sunny but cool Port Talbot. Rosalie Hollis, good morning. Dawn Skelton, morning. How you doing? Morning, Bex. Hope you're feeling well, Bex and Dawn. Hope you're off to a good start. Carol Elliott, good morning. Lovely to be back after being away, although miss walking on the beach. We missed you as well, Carol. We missed you as well. The collective just wasn't the same. Good morning to Gillian, who's joining us from Port Talbot as well. I need to catch up on yesterday's 12 noon, so we're going to do that after this. Good morning. Hello, sir, from Kelsey. Good morning, Kelsey. Take a seat for a moment. We'll be with you. I'll give you a mark at the end of the class. Good morning to Adil. Welcome aboard Marmite Body Wash. Yeah, it's cracking. If this was smelly vision, look. Have a sniff. There we go. It's lovely. Sheila Day, good morning to you. Welcome back, sis. Yeah, welcome back, Carol. Good morning to Vivian Dixon. God, there's so many coming in. Sunny here, although the forecast said late rain. Bex is off to buy a new printer today. Let's have a quick look at what else we've got. You're back from outer space, and that is to Carol. Right, so let's get ourselves ready to go. It's 8:01. Shift those comments to the right if you want to. They are gone. Should we have a... Did you see it? 3, 2, 1. Good morning, welcome along. You're with Dave Montgomery from Later Life Training, or even Later Life Training, not later. Later Life Training. This is our 8 a.m. movement snack, our first opportunity to start adding extra minutes into our movement snack for the day. We mobilise in this movement on a Monday morning, and we circulation boost as well. Now listen, you can do it in standing, you can do it in seated, you can do it in your pyjamas, you can do it in your socks, you can do it in your pants. Whatever takes your fancy, right? Should we get ourselves ready to go? So first things first, let's make sure we've got nothing that's going to cause us an obstacle, anything that we could trip over. We've got a good clear space. We've got some fixed external support. That was hard. And we've got a method of working at our own pace. We work at the level that is right for us. I've got my socks on. I've got my sporty socks on today because I'm ready to race out the house as soon as this is finished. Socks on so that I can feel how my feet interact with the floor. Throughout the rest of the day, all our other snacks, good, sensible footwear is what we wear. But in the morning, as long as you've got a floor that you're not going to slip on, then socks is what you want. And I shampooed the rug yesterday. Doesn't it look lovely? Very bright, very red. It started to look a little bit dull. Anyway, I'm digressing. Let's have a look at our posture. In our standing position, our heels are in line with our knees are in line with our hips, and the knees are soft. Lift and lengthen out from our hips, and as I do that, I get a lovely smell of Marmite. Lift and lengthen out from our hips, bringing the shoulders up, back, and pressing down. So we're standing tall, we're lengthening through our neck. In our seated position, then it's a case of bringing the back off the chair to sit tall. Trunk now supporting us. Lift and shift is the name of the game as we bring ourselves forward with that little hip walk into the front third of the chair. Now here, heels and knees are in line, and we're lifting and lengthening out from our hips, growing that a couple of extra inches taller. Shoulders up, back and down, lengthening through our neck, and starting with our circulation booster. We'll start with a heel raise, just bringing those feet off the floor, with the heels, keeping the toes down, and feel the engagement of the big toe and the second toe down through the floor mainly. But feel your other toes there as well. Toes play an important part in our balance as well as our ankles, which we focus on later. They're like the fingers of our toes, so feel them engaging with the floor, feel them gripping it. Now, let's make this a little bit bigger, so bring it into a march by lifting the foot off the floor. It's only a small movement, we're not bringing it right up, so it's not coming up to hip level as far as standing is concerned. Not like a knee lift, it's just lifting that foot off the floor. Just enough to clear it, but enough for us to start to point the toes down. So we can start to work on that ankle mobilization. Now, seated wise, could get a bit of muscle fatigue into our hip flexors. So if you want to come back into that heel raise or a toe tap out in front, something of a different movement, feel free. It's about whether you start to get some muscle fatigue there. There's a lot of work happening at the hips. In standing, we can see that they've got that ability to point the toes down at the floor. Can you see how I can point my toes down at the floor? I've got my support by the side of me in case I need it. Now, let's add an arm in as well. Lefty arm is going to come in today for me. Driving the elbow backwards, about 90 degrees with that elbow. So it's a driven movement that works through our shoulder. If I allow the arm just to come here, what tends to happen is we get a bit of a swing going. This is a driven movement here. And that's what's going to help boost that circulation. Now listen, if you're using your support, we're going to change hands, but we need to put the hand down firstly and then change to the other side. So if it's in front of you, the support, you've got the ability to keep the march going. However, if it's to the side, it's going to be a case of pausing, taking as many steps as you need to turn into your support to the other side, and then getting yourself going again on the other side. Seated, standing, if you feel steady, stable, and most importantly coordinated, then both arms, both legs together. No faster, you'll notice, it's just bigger. And now it's bigger because more of the body is moving. So I've got my legs moving, I've got my ankles moving, I've got my arms moving. You may not, but I've got my mouth moving as well. And we're getting the blood pumping around the body. So we've opened the arteries, the blood is pumping around the body. We're elevating our heart rate, breathing a little bit faster, just to get the oxygen around to where we want it. Warm those muscles, loosen those joints, warm the joints, get ourselves ready for our mobilization and ready for our day. Now slow it down a little bit after a couple of minutes, bring it to a pause, and we're ready to start with our trios. But we may feel there, a couple of deep breaths are needed. If you feel you're having to really take a few deep breaths, then what you need to do is make it a little bit slower next time, or a little bit smaller as far as that circulation booster is concerned. Right, trio time. Top trio, trunk trio, toe trio, yeah? Right, so top trio, shoulders, lift towards your ears and press down. Now, base-wise, we've got a base of support where our heels are just outside of our hips and our knees are soft. In our seated position, we're sitting tall on those sitting bones. If you need to use your support, then what you might want to do, so you can do both shoulders at the same time, is lean yourself onto the support. So place your support behind you so you've got that reference there and you've got the ability to do both shoulders. Now here, it's a lift and it's a press down. So we lift and we actively press those shoulders down as if we're trying to put the shoulder blades down towards the base of our back. And that's about getting that range of movement within there. 4 or 5 is what we're looking for, and then from there we're going to take it into a circulation movement, a rotational movement. So we come forward with the shoulders, we lift up towards our ears, back past our earlobe, shoulder blades together and press down. And you've got that rotational movement. Now again, base of support, outside of your hips, knees soft. In our sitting position, we're sitting tall through our sitting bones. So again, we're coming forward, lifting up, rolling back and pressing down together. Once again, if you need to use your support, place yourself against it. It's probably best so you can do both shoulders together. If you need to isolate it, then isolate it into one shoulder at a time, but make sure the other shoulder stays level so we're not leaning down through that shoulder girdle. And also here, if you feel you've got less mobility on one side than the other, then the ideal opportunity for you now or later, do a few extra on that side. Try and improve that range of motion. Once we've done our 4 or 5 of those, we're going to move into our head movement here. Now, turning our head can cause us to feel a little bit disorientated, a little bit dizzy, especially if it's a bit too speedy. So, have your support available. The movement, standing tall, wide base of support, so outside of our hips, knees soft, we turn the head to the side, center and pause, and then the other way. Now the eye line is staying level, look. So I'm turning and pausing and then turning the other way. Exactly the same in your seated position. As I say, if you need to or you feel disoriented, have your support there. So even if you don't feel you need it, you've got it there ready. And just the touch sometimes from proprioception, if we touch our hand down, the body knows where it is in relation to everything around it, and it will feel a little bit better, a little bit less disorientated. This pause in the center allows the system that tells our body which way we're going, how fast we're moving, to just normalize itself before you turn the other way. So 4 or 5 on each side, and remember, take it to where you feel comfortable. So remember, with all of these movements, there should be no pain. If you have pain all the time, so if you do have pain in a particular area, there should be no more pain or no more discomfort than you would normally get. It's about mobilizing. Right, once you've done your 4 or 5 on there, we're going to come down into, well, I'm going to come here, you're not, you're going to stay where you are, but I'm going to come down here so you can see this movement. We're going to lengthen through the back of the neck. So, eyeline is going to stay level, fingers on my chin, draw back, creating a double chin, come forward and release. Now either the fingers can stay on the chin, or you can leave the fingers where they are, draw back, release. Draw back, release. Again, controlled movement, so not too fast, but what we're doing is we're stacking the head back on to the top of the spine. Head is one of the heaviest parts of the body. as it starts to come forward, it starts to pull the shoulders forward as well. So if we can realign everything, we're getting ourselves in a good postural position. We're setting everything up. We've got those shoulders back. We can sit the head back a little bit as well on top of it. Now from the front, you can see there's not a great deal of movement. You won't see a great deal, but you noticed from the side, that chin stays level. So you get a tuck here, you get a double chin, and your eye line stays level. And again, back, lengthen through the back of the neck and come forward. Feel how that feels. Now we use our head, we use our shoulders all day, don't we? Anything that takes the arms away from the body, shoulders are involved in, and of course, crossing the road, turning to pick something up, reaching for a book, those sorts of things is where we use our head. Once we've done our 4 or 5 of those, let's take a little pause and come back into a circulation booster. Almost made myself laugh then. That's all we use our head for. No, we use it for thinking as well, and we use it for talking and all those sorts of things. So not just reaching for a book or turning, talking to a friend. If you're out for a walk in the park and your friend's next to you, you're going to turn your head to talk to them, aren't you? Crossing the road, as I mentioned. But even, just if we do our hair, our head moves as well. So, just a book. That's all it is. Right. Let's have a circulation booster. We're looking at about 30 seconds of this just to reboost our circulation. We're just looking at the feet. So again, I've got my support if I need it in the seated position. I've either got this heel raise, this march if you feel comfortable with it, or that toe tap. Again, we're just giving a little boost to that circulation before we move down into the trunk trio. Okay, take a pause. Let's go into our side bends. So let's have a look from the front firstly. Base of support outside of our hips, about shoulders width, knees are soft. We're lifted and we're lengthened. Have a look at the movement from the front. Down to the side, a pause in the centre, and then down the other way. Okay, let's have a look at the side. The movement is straight down, pause, straight down the other side, and straight back up. Now, if you're using your support, if it's to the side, it's going to come into the support, back to the centre, and then to the support again. 4 or 5 on that side, and you turn with as many steps as you need to the other side. If your support's in front of you, however, you do have the ability to go down, pause, change your hand, down the other way. Seated, our sitting bones are our feet. So as our feet stay totally on the floor, firmly fixed on the floor, our sitting bones stay firmly fixed on this chair. Again, we're sitting tall and the movement comes down, pause in the centre, and down the other way. So we're not lifting that bottom off at all. And that straight down, straight up movement is lengthening down through the side here. We're mobilising through the trunk. And let's think about reaching down to pick something up. You could have the handbag in the front footwell of the car if you're out, or a bag in there, or you need to reach for your glasses. Anything like that when we come down. Now, this is again about 4 or 5 on each side, and take it to where you feel comfortable. The good thing about using your hands, because they don't have to slide down, they could just come loosely down. But the good thing about sliding it down the seam of your trousers or your shorts is it gives you an indication of how far you're going. So over time, you may see that you start to get more mobility in there. Once you've done your 4 or 5 on each side, take a pause and let's go into our trunk rotations. So again, we've got the same base of support. Now here we want to try and keep the hips still. So we don't want to turn everything. It's the trunk we're trying to focus into. So knees soft, hips staying still. We turn to the side. We're back into the centre with a pause. And then we turn the other side. That little pause in the centre just gives us a chance to reset ourselves and have a little bit of a relax, yeah? So we're not going side to side. That then becomes a momentum thing again. So again, this breaks it down. So we get that controlled movement to the side, we come back in, we reset ourselves, and away we go. Now, if you feel your hips are moving, and if you need to use the support, here's a good one, because when you turn, if you feel the way your bottom contacts that support changes, you know you've got some movement in the hips. Likewise, in our sitting position, we've got our sitting bones onto the chair, and again, as I turn, if I feel the bottom lifting on one side, I know I've got some movement in my hips. I want to try and focus this all into the trunk. So we're looking at 4 or 5 on each side. Good quality movements. Putting our seatbelt on, rolling over in bed, turning to pick something up by the side of us, getting dressed, coat on, all those sorts of movements. Once you've done your 4 or 5, take a pause and let's move into our back extension. I'm going to show you this in seated firstly. So this time we want to focus on the hips and the pelvis not moving forward or backwards, okay? So in our seat, we're sitting tall. I'm going to feel if there's any movement through the chair. So sitting tall, eye line staying level. I'm going to lift a little bit taller with the chest. I'm going to extend back, come forward and release. So sitting tall, lift a little bit taller with that chest and extend back, come in and release. Now again, you can see because I'm keeping the eye line level, we're getting that double chin again. Standing. Movement is the same. We've got that good base of support again, feet outside of our hips, knees soft, and really soften through your knees here because that will help with trying to keep this pelvis still. So lift that a little bit taller, extend back, come in and release. Now here, you need to focus on this. So what we don't want to do is tip forward as we go back, yeah? So what you might find in a standing position again, this is a reference point situation, you know? If you've got that reference point, again, as you lift and come back, you can feel from the way your bottom is interacting with that reference point whether you've got some movement in the hips. It takes away one thing for us to have to think about. Just one less thing for us to think about. We can really focus it to try and get the best out of this movement into our lower back. And if you ever suffer with lower back pain, this is going to be really good for releasing and helping with that. So again, we're tall, seated or standing, reference or not, we lift, we come back, we come in and down. And again, with your support, you can just use your support by the side, or again, it's that reference point situation which cracks 2 nuts with one stone, doesn't it? Yeah. I can feel whether I'm moving my hips and I've got my support there. Once you've done 4 or 5 of those, then let's come back into another circulation booster, and we're going to go with our arms this time. So we're driving those elbows backwards. Both seated and standing, exactly the same movement. We've got that good base of support still, so heels outside of our hips. And what we can do to make this a little bit bigger is we can bring the hands together and make it a bit of a rowing or canoeing type motion. So we've got the reach and the reach and the pull, which makes it a bit bigger. And again, this is just about reboosting that circulation. Ready for us to go to toe trio, ankle, feet and toes. We use our ankles so much, and they're so important to our stability. They interact with the floor, they change to give us that support. They're forever having to move to enable us to stay steady and supported. So let's focus into them, let's give them a treat. Yeah, it's time to treat the feet. Standing firstly, we have support to the side of us, whether we need it or not, have it there. Leg that is closest to the support is the one that is going to stay still, and the knee is staying soft. Let me just move that other leg out of the way. Can you see how my knee is soft? Right, first time through, we'll have a look. I lift and put the toe on the floor, and then I lift and put the heel in the same place. Once you feel comfortable with it, eye line to the front, and away you go, toe and heel. However, I want you to add something extra into it as well. So as you bring the feet over, scrunch the toes up, and then straighten them out to place the toes down on the floor. As you put the heel down, splay your toes. So you've got this scrunch as you come over, straighten as you place, and then as you place the heel down, you open those toes. 4 or 5 on that side, and then change to the other, turning into your sport. Seated, we can do the same movement. Yeah? So we've got the same movement. You're probably going to need to bring the foot in a little bit to be able to get it. So toe and heel in the same place. That's the important bit. They go in the same place. So it's not this movement here. Yeah? It's lifting and putting in the same place. Again, we've got that same movement with the toes, scrunch and release. Now, however, I feel, certainly myself, it may not be the same for you, but I don't get the best movement here in this position of seated. I can't quite get my toes up as much as I can in a standing position. So, lift and shift into the back of the chair, hip walk to the back of the chair. And these hip walks are a great thing to practice anyway. Getting up from the chair, from a seated position, is much better to do and much easier to do from the front of the chair. Sitting down and then shifting yourself back into the chair to get comfy is a good thing to do as well. Extend your foot out in front. Only just off the floor. It's not up here because that then becomes strength. There's my point, and here I can really bring my toes in and flex them in now. So now I can scrunch my toes and I can flare my toes, yeah? Or I can do it the other way around, whichever you feel comfortable with. Flare them as you bring it up, scrunch them as you take it away if you want. It's this pointing motion, and this is giving us that movement through our ankles. Again, 4 or 5 on each side. Remember there, however, don't lift your leg too high. It's down close to the floor. This is about movement. It's about mobilization. It's not about strength. Later in the day, we'll focus on strength. Now, why focus on those toes? As I said at the beginning, can you feel your toes interacting with the floor? They play a really important part. They're like our fingers. So when we pick something up, we don't just put our hand on it and it picks up. We wrap our toes around it. And if you feel, while you're using those toes and then while you're walking, you can feel your toes starting to grip the floor for you. And that plays a crucial role in providing us that support. It's spreading the weight and it's gripping the floor. The ankles are forever making changes as the floor underneath us changes. And this, if you have a look at it there, is the walking motion, isn't it? Heel, toe, yeah? So that's that heel-toe action. That's us done for a Monday morning. I'm heading off out into the sunshine, jolly as ever, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Listen, you've still got plenty to come. You've got Bex and you have Kelsey with you as well today. If my memory serves me right, we have Kelsey on lunchtime. We have Bex on 4 p.m. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m, bright and sharp. Have a wonderful day. Go forth, crowbar in additional movements into your day. Keep mobilization, keep movement on your calendar throughout the rest of today, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a good one. Bye.